Thank you for tuning into another video from JRM Recaps. Spoilers ahead. The film opens at a hospital in Tokyo. Yuichi Kimura, the father, is by the bedside of his child Wataru, who was pushed off the roof of a building while his father was missing. Yuichi's father, the elder, shows up and reminds his child that fathers should safeguard their families. Yuichi heads out to find whoever hurt his son. A professional killer with the name Ladybug, given to by his handler, is getting back to work after time away from the game. He considers the name amusing, as he doesn't really accept that he is fortunate like ladybugs normally are. He is additionally filling in for another professional killer, Carver, who is unable to work due to being ill. Ladybug addresses his handler, Maria Beetle, who doles out him to board a bullet train heading from Tokyo to Kyoto. His objective is to retrieve a briefcase with a train sticker on the handle that contains $10 million in cash. As he walks through the station, Ladybug gets bumped by Yuichi, making him unknowingly drop a key to a storage locker and his ticket. Ladybug breaks into the storage unit to recover supplies and sees a gun also in there, but decides not to take it despite Maria's insistence. Already boarded on the bullet train are twin sibling professional killers, Lemon and Tangerine. They were sent by a kingpin known as the White Death to retrieve his son, as he is an addict that can't be relied upon all alone. Lemon sees the world through the lens of the show Thomas the Tank Engine, and he relates specific individuals to characters from the show. Tangerine relays to Lemon about how White Death was a Russian drifter who wound up filling in as the right-hand man of a Yakuza boss named Minegishi, until he wound up establishing his own criminal organization, deceiving Minegishi and killing him. Yuichi enters the train in the wake of finding a lead on the person responsible for pushing his son, Wataru. He is tossed by a professional killer called the Prince, who acts like a blameless student to deceive individuals to her true character. At the point when he awakens, she lets him know that she pushed Wataru to draw Yuichi to her, as it was he who provided Lemon and Tangerine with the briefcase. She needs Yuichi's assistance in booby-trapping the briefcase and giving it to White Death to kill him. The Prince has likewise manipulated a handgun to explode when the trigger is pulled. To compel Yuichi to participate, Prince lets him know that she has a thug at the hospital prepared to kill his son in the event that he doesn't hear from her when he calls. Ladybug finds the briefcase, but is told by the conductor that he needs to get off at the next stop since he didn't have his ticket on him. When he attempts to leave the train with the briefcase, he is found by one more professional killer known as the Wolf at the door of the train. A quick flashback shows the Wolf moving up in the cartel under a supervisor called El Saguaro, and afterward finding a beautiful woman he would propose to. However, everybody at the Wolf's wedding was killed, including El Saguaro and the Wolf's significant other. He believes Ladybug is liable for their deaths, so when he confronts him on the train he tries to kill him. Should have taken that gun back at the station, Ladybug. The two battle in the bar car before the Wolf's own blade ricochets off the briefcase and into the Wolf's heart, killing him. Ladybug conceals the Wolf's injuries and calls Maria. She reminds him that he was a mixed drink server at the Wolf's wedding, and the tequila served there was spiked with poison from a boomslang snake, which was taken from a zoo in Tokyo and is on the train. Lemon and Tangerine find the briefcase is missing, and the son has additionally been killed, ironically by the same poison that killed everyone at the Wolf's wedding. They cover his face up and clean the blood prior to heading out to track down Ladybug. Ladybug comes across Lemon in the quiet car and remembers him from a task in Johannesburg. After a brief conversation, they battle, with Ladybug attempting to disarm Lemon. Ladybug at last takes Lemon out and afterwards spikes his water bottle with sleeping powder. Ladybug then switches clothing with another traveler and converses with Maria once more. She lets him know that another professional killer, the Hornet, was employed by White Death and is on the train. In the interim, Tangerine needs to get off at the following stop momentarily to meet with White Death's thugs to guarantee them that the assignment is going as expected. Tangerine finds Ladybug and battles him, assuming that Ladybug poisoned White Death's son. Again, should have taken that gun, Ladybug. Ladybug opens an emergency entryway and makes the two almost fly out of the train prior to pulling themselves back in. White Death contacts Tangerine to tell him that in the event that they don't appear with the son and the briefcase, he will kill everybody on the train. The two devise a plan to work together and try to trick White Death's men by acting like siblings and utilizing an alternate briefcase. However, Ladybug unintentionally opens it and ruins their disguise, compelling them to run back onto the train. Ladybug then, at that point, throws Tangerine from the train before it begins moving once more, but Tangerine figures out how to jump back on before it quickly accelerates. Lemon runs into Yuichi and Prince, where he quickly confirms that the two of them are not there for respectable purposes. Lemon shoots Yuichi, yet he knows not to trust the prince. Unfortunately, he drinks water from the water bottle spiked with sleeping powder, and winds up dropping unconscious. The prince shoots Lemon in the chest and stows him and Yuichi in the restroom. Ladybug runs into the Hornet, who was undercover on the train as an anime character prior to trading garments with the concession girl. She took the boomslang snake from the zoo and utilizes its toxin to kill her victims, as the toxin hardens the blood and causes the victims to bleed from each crevice. We learn that it was the Hornet who poisoned everybody at the wolf's wedding, as she was likewise there as a cake culinary specialist. Ladybug battles the Hornet, who is there to gather her payment from the briefcase. If only he had a gun. She attempts to inject him with a needle containing the toxin, but he takes a light jab of it while stabbing her with its remainder. The Hornet attempts to inject the counteragent, however Ladybug takes it from her first, injects himself with it, and watches her squirm away and perish. Tangerine tracks down Lemon's body in the washroom and attempts to pursue his executioner. He converses with the White Death once more, who says that he purchased every single pass to Kyoto so there shouldn't be anyone else left on the train. Tangerine runs into the prince and is nearly tricked by her until he sees that Lemon left a sticker of the character Diesel from Thomas, meaning he realized she was a villain. Before Tangerine can kill the prince, Ladybug finds him once more and battles him, finishing with Ladybug shooting Tangerine in the neck. We see Tangerine attempt to caution Ladybug about the prince, but to no avail as he ultimately bleeds out. Ladybug attempts to get the prince off the train at the following stop, however she intentionally keeps them on, tricking him with her innocent schoolgirl act. The elder then gets on the train since he heard the prince on the telephone and realized something was off base on the train. He sits close to Ladybug and the prince until Ladybug runs away in fear due to the boomslang snake sneaking into the car and biting into him. The elder stands up to the prince, who is ready to have her thug prepare to kill Wataru. Nonetheless, the elder arranged for this and had his own professional killer acting like a medical caretaker, and she eliminates Prince's thug before he can kill Wataru. The prince escapes, and Ladybug returns. The elder has a discussion with Ladybug, who views himself as unlucky, and leaves him with the conviction that everything occurs for a reason. He likewise recounts the tale of how he was Minegishi's right-hand man before White Death double-crossed them, and he has promised retribution on White Death for the death of his spouse. Lemon and Yuichi then, at that point, awaken, as Lemon was wearing a bulletproof vest when he was shot. Moments later, when he sees that Tangerine is dead, he becomes angered and attempts to pursue Ladybug. However, Yuichi and the elder have them cooperate as they need to get ready to confront the White Death. The train shows up in Kyoto as White Death gets ready to come aboard. The prince approaches him, and it is uncovered that they are father and daughter. She wanted more attention from him because he was more inclined toward his son, and she tried to convince him to pull the trigger of the rigged gun which would kill him. However, he just walks away and does not attempt to kill her. The others confront him outside, while the White Death's hooligans attempt to open the booby-trapped briefcase. The White Death then makes it clear that everybody on that train was there since he organized it. He has sought vengeance for the death of his wife, who was killed in an auto collision that was supposed to be a death attempt on him. He then devised a plan to have anyone associated with the death of his wife killed. Tangerine and Lemon killed the White Death's men on a task in Bolivia, which forced him to become distracted and handle the situation. He additionally did not care much for his son, as his significant other's endeavors to rescue him again from jail for his crimes prompted her death. The Hornet was lured there since she poisoned the specialist that might have saved his wife's life after the accident. At last, he believes Ladybug is Carver, who arranged the car crash that ultimately took his wife, but not knowing Carver would become ill, allowing Ladybug to take his place. He was wagering on every one of the professional killers to kill one another. The briefcase then detonates just as Lemon gets the train to begin running. Ladybug runs back on and is pursued by the White Death and his thugs. The Elder fights the White Death on the train while Lemon and Ladybug ward off the thugs as the train speeds completely out of control. As they kill the thugs, Ladybug tries to hit the emergency brakes. Lemon winds up hurling himself and the last thug out of the train as they are passing over a bridge. Before the White Death can kill the Elder, Ladybug hits the brakes, and the Elder quickly jumps at the chance to spear his enemy to near death. The train then derails and crashes into a town. The surviving men leave the train, and White Death tries to execute Ladybug, however he snatches the rigged weapon and blows his own brains out. The prince then attempts to kill Ladybug and the Chimuras, but is ironically struck and killed by a tangerine truck. Maria, Ladybug's handler, then shows up in person to save Ladybug while he leaves behind the Chimuras. He has embraced an uplifting perspective on life and accepts he truly is fortunate, that is, until a utility pole comes crashing down onto Maria's vehicle, making them have to walk. As the credits begin, we see that Lemon survived the tumble off the train, and was the one driving the tangerine truck so he could run over the prince and avenge Tangerine's death. Thank you for watching our recap. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button and subscribe for future videos. Also, try some of our other videos displayed on screen.